Okay, I'm going to make this quick because of how bad the game was. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. Immortals of Aveume, neat concept, awful execution at every minor step of every part of the game. Narrative, gameplay, combat, you name it, it's bad. It is honestly, in many ways, actually outclassed by the uglier and less story meaningful Battle Mage. Why? Because I had a shit ton of magic at my hand there, at least. Here I don't have that. Here I have three magic types: green, red, and blue. Blue is basically every single freaking semi-auto and sniper rifle in any COD game ever made. And the green is freaking all of the freaking LMGs, full auto guns from all of Call of Duty's history, basically wrapped up into a different look. And then you have also the red, which is basically every shotgun and every rocket launcher. Within all of, basically, it's just, that's the whole problem, is that honestly that it's already off to a bad start because the game gets repetitive in the first hour. Within the first hour, the game is already mind-numbingly repetitive because of how much just weird random coughs. Anyways, when it comes down to it, it's just been awful. It's been boring, it's been frustrating, it's been stupid, it's been predictable, it's been anticlimactic, it's been dumb, it's been awfully written. Honestly, the only ones who showed up to work and did their jobs at all today were the graphics guys and the voice actors. And no one else checked in, apparently. Not the guys who were supposed to be testing this game, not the people who were supposed to be beta testing this game. Nobody. Nobody showed up to work, clearly. How do I know? Simple. Because of many, many facets of the game that are either A, just bugged, borked, bad. Quite genuinely, that's almost a drinking game for this game. Okay? Bugged, borked, bad. Granted, you'll die within the first 2 hours of that drinking contest, but you would still have a drinking contest, technically. Ultimately, all combat feels exactly the same because you're doing the same things over and over. You are going from, if the opponent has shields, to which in that case you'll be spamming blue magic and the shatter spell. If you are going up against opponents who are red, you're going to be either spamming blast wave or blast, as well as red magic for your basic hitting. If the opponent is covered in green shit, you're going to be spamming your overall green magic, and you're going to be casting the same freaking stupid green spell. I can't remember what its name is. I just remember that it hunted the opponent down to some extent, which was That's it. Honestly, this game does not reward or make any damn sense to try and master any of the skill trees. You are hampering yourself, hindering yourself, and handicapping yourself for nothing. This game is not fun to upgrade your gear at all, because honestly, your gear kinda sucks. And it's pretty shitty. And on top of that, honestly, the upgrade system itself kinda sucks dick. You need gold, you need the freaking color-typed magic relevant to it, and you sometimes, for yellow shit, need legendary resources. That's it. And honestly, because of how bullet spongy everything is already, and how it gets so much worse and tedious every single fight by the end of the game is just tedium. Not them being smarter, not them being more tactical. Oh no. It is just them being more bullet spongy, taking twice as long to break their shield, armor, or regen factors. And on top of that, them getting to do even more damage to you, and they have always been able to break your shield on the first shot. Pretty much since start of having the shield, they've been able to just go, bat, there goes your shield. Over and over. And mind you, I ended the game at level 49 or 50. And I had, because of all my gear buffing my shield so much, I had a grand total of like 200 and I think 50 some odd in shields. And I'm going to tell you right now, it didn't mean shit. It was getting taken down in an instant. One shot every time by every opponent, every grunt. Shield would go down instantaneously every single time. And I'm just left wondering, what's the fucking point here? All the NPCs, all the allies, suck ass. I can't think of one of them that I actually like truly liked. In fact, almost all of them, aside from like two who I was just like I'm indifferent to, I honestly kind of wanted to just have a mission where I could kill them all. Kill all of them. Myself. My own two hands. Slaughter every single one of these scumbags. No, really. This game was so bad and piss poor with these characters to the point where, honestly, I was begging for an ending where I could just destroy the world. That honestly would have made me happier than the ending I actually got, which was a little sequel baity, pretty forced, stupid, and honestly, as much as it frustrates me, predictable. The thing is I'm not a big fan of stories that force martyr bullshit onto anybody. I always feel like endings like that should be something optional, something you chose. So being forced into it doesn't sit well for me, especially since they kind of, in the dumbest way and the most bullshit way, undermine it because, fuck you, we want a sequel. Money now. Money now. And my response to them is simple. You want my money? How about you don't fucking get games up anymore? That's a great idea. Make games that are actually worth a shit. Instead of this honestly kind of forced, piss poor written, piss poor designed, honestly pretty just bad game across the board. Like, honestly, I never laughed, and it is easy to make me laugh. Bad puns, dick jokes, dad jokes, freaking knock jokes. Yes, including the stupid annoying ones. Those do make me laugh a little bit. Even jokes that are just blatantly random, dumb, dark, or perverse, I still laugh pretty easily. And here, the only times I laughed wasn't because I was having any enjoyment, not because of anything funny, just because of how dumb the whole thing was. Just how dumb written everything was. This game, honestly, half the time was as poorly written as Final Fantasy Type O. And Final Fantasy Type O was the worst written Final Fantasy game. Yikes. That does not help here. This is actually almost in some ways worse, because at least with that game, even though it was written like trash and honestly wasn't very good pace and failed to execute many things properly, the big difference is I at least like the idea of having a batch of like freaking like what, 12 or 23, I don't even remember how many, but it was a lot. It was a pretty hefty lineup, and they all fought very differently. And that was a good thing for that game. Here in this game, though, I'm doing the same thing 24/7, the same way 24/7, with no variation, with no change-up. And with bad writing, and honestly, rubber banding AI does not help. There are so many fights that are just tedious, especially bosses. Ugh, boss fights in this game fucking suck. They are tedious, time-consuming. Even when you are fucking level 50, they take an hour to kill. An entire fucking hour to kill some of these pricks. This whole game, honestly, this is my last little thing to say before I finally just say fuck it and give a review right now. No, really, I've summarized the whole game experience already, pretty much, alright? The only thing I'm missing is this, that I don't understand or know who this game is for. It's not for RPG guys like myself, because the dialogue is inconsistent, sucks ass, piss poor illusion of choice. One case just was the same thing, slightly differently phrased to the point of being idiotic. And on top of that, forced bullshit pretty much through multiple characters and multiple moments. And that's not even counting the moments that clearly scream, I should be given a dialogue choice to make a choice here, but instead the character just goes and does what he wants. Suddenly. So it's not for RPG guys. Okay, well what about people like who like Destiny? What about people who like loot? How's that? No? Pretty dumb. I wouldn't say it's worse than Destiny. Or worse than Destiny 2 either. But I wouldn't say it's better by much. By much at all. At least in that game, once you got legendaries and freaking stuff like that, they would look badass. They'd be a bitch to get, but they'd be badass. Here, legendary bottle. Okay. Sorry, no. A freaking mythical. A relic. Ooh, a yellow. A yellow token. That's red. Okay. A yellow gauntlet that was It was It performs exactly like a minigun. What do you expect? Are you expecting bells and whistles? Are you expecting it to do some cool shit? Are you expecting it to be even a little bit different from its lower variants? Of course not. It isn't like that at all. It's just the same shit you've already gotten many times. It looks a little different, but would I say it looks badass or cool? No, not really. No. Okay, well, yellow, red bracelet. You remember what I just said about the green shit? The green shit a moment ago, yeah? That here. And for its brother, the blue bracelet as well, which I was stuck with a green by the time of end of game. Because it was giving me the best benefits to the point where the yellow and the purple benefits that I had as an option by the end of the game sucked dick. Okay. What about the bracelet that goes on top of the bracelet? Ooh. Yeah, it is a yellow, but it doesn't do much. It's still better than what I had originally, I guess, but it doesn't look cool. It looks pretty stupid. And on top of that, it's not like it changes its look depending on which one of the color schemes I use. No, it's a static blue crystal thing on top of a constantly changing color bracelet. Yeah. Can you change outfits? Can you change the way you look? No. No, you can't. Not really. You can change the look of your 2 rings. Ooh, okay. And by change the look of them, I don't mean by any way meaningful or impressive. I mean, like, you can keep the rings you have on, which gives you a certain stat, or you can replace it with a different ring that gives you different stats. No, you can't make it so that that ring gets stronger by, decomposing stuff. No. You can only upgrade stuff about 3 times if it's something legendary. If it's something yellow, you can upgrade it 4 times. Okay, well, there's got to be other things, right? Other than just those 3 magics, right? There's got to be something else. Nope, not for you. For you, that's all you get. What's that? You want to be wielding an axe to go with your magic? How dare you? How dare you, scum, is what this game says to you. Because it's going to show you weapons, swords, axes, shields. It's going to show you all this shit. You don't get to use any of it. You are only going to be using that bracelet that can only do 3 types of attacks and nothing else. You asshole. Quit limiting me. Between how I just wanted to kill every single ally and hated them and was sick and tired and fed up with them bitching and nagging in my ear the whole game. Thanks. Then there were the cutscenes. Now, here's the thing, is the cutscenes have multiple problems, and they all prove that this game was never tested for shit. At all. There are fuck tons of times where the lip syncing is off. Or there will be times where the subtitle is so far behind to the point where there are even 3 whole sentences behind the actual voice actor. And sometimes it does both, cause fuck you. Or how about another problem within the game? The game cannot decide, does it translate Rosharan's speech or no? Does it say fuck you? Or does it translate this shit so you know what they're saying? It cannot decide on this. So there's half the time you will understand what's being said. The other half the time, you don't know shit. Even though the game goes out of its way to inform you and remind you that Jack can supposedly understand Rasharn. Uh-huh. And so you stopped translating what was being said. Why then? Why are you reminding me that he understands it suddenly when you couldn't be bothered to translate it before? What's the point of this shit? It just makes him look dumb and incompetent. Honestly, Jack himself is just unlikable himself, even. Tell me, does this sound familiar? He's a comically, almost idiotic levels victim of circumstance, rises to hero who saves the world. But his friends are assholes to him the whole time, never give him the credit he deserves, and even when he goes out of his way to do some big, huge shit to save the world, instead of getting any praise at all, they decide, let's shit talk him and treat him like shit some more. Fuck him. Even the game and its own freaking characters hate Jack the whole way through. And honestly, it didn't help that they were also scumbags too. So there's no one really likable in this game at any point. No one. Honestly, I don't think I've ever wanted to just destroy the entire world of a game and intentionally get everyone in it killed more than I did in this game. Good job, I guess. If you were trying to make a unlikable game with unlikable characters with an unlikable protagonist where everyone treats each other like shit for no fucking reason, then yeah, great. If you wanted to make a stereotypical buff, ugly royal bitch who's a bigot, racist piece of shit that you want to murder but never get to murder, then I mean, good job if that was your goal. But why? Why would that be your goal? If you were just trying to make a character who, honestly, whose death you enjoyed and was cheering for and happy about, and losing your shit like, yes, the motherfucker's dead, spit on him, piss on him, shit down his throat. If you are trying to tell me they intentionally made a character who's that annoying, that much of an asshole to everything and everyone, and that much of a fucking racist dick, then spoiler alert here, good job, but why? There's not a single character who is likable. Everyone's an asshole, or a racist, or a bigot, or all the above. There's like not even a singular fucking character who's likable. Jack is the closest you get, but he's an asshole. He's a freaking arrogant prick. Honestly, the moment this game was finished, I immediately deleted it. It has already left my system. I will never play it again. And anyone who ever sees me start to play it again, that means one singular thing. I am being held captive and at gunpoint. Please come save me. That's the only way this game ever gets touched by me. Ever. Ever. This thing sucked. And was boring. And frustrating. And dumb. And tedious. And honestly, it had no reason to be as long as it did. Okay? None. There was no point to this game being what? Fucking... It didn't even tell me how long this game took because they wanted to hide that fact in case someone tries to call them out on it being too short, possibly, probably. Because honestly, I don't want to grind in this game. Everything looks like shit. The whole thing is a lot of times just fucking empty, or me fighting the same opponents I already fought 7, 12, 900 times before. No, I don't want any golden chests. Kiss my ass. No, I don't want to go fight the 6 toughest fights in the game. Because boss fights suck ass anyways. Why would I want to make it worse by going up against the worst and strongest ones? How about go eat a dick? Thanks. Here's the thing. This game, if you're someone who doesn't care about how interesting a concept could have been, then for you this game is a 1. This game's a 1, should be a 0, but people don't accept zeros. So 1. It's worth a 0. Like, honestly, it really is. It's so bad at every aspect and just unfun. I can't think of one single moment where I actually laughed because of joy or laughter. I laughed because it was stupid and dumb. Not like redneck dumb. Oh, no. Mythological, unheard of levels of dumb. Impossibility level of dumb. Brainless level of dumb. To the point where I and my lack of writing talent start to look real good. And I'm a shit writer. I'm a shitty writer. Anyone who tells you I'm good at writing has lied their ass off. The only things I'm good at is being mentally insane, being sentient, drugs without having to take no drugs, and I mentioned being mentally insane. Those are my talents. I am good at those talents. But even I start to look good and I suck at writing. That is how bad we're talking here. I am not a good writer. I've never claimed to be a good writer. I'm mentally insane. I'm perverse. I'm random. I'm weird. Those are it. Those are my personality. Given to you on silver platter. None of those include writer. And I'm going to tell you right now, I start to look good and I'm a crappy writer. Other things that exist that have crappy writing start to look good. Hell, I hate SAO, and honestly, this almost started to make that look good. I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bit of an aneurysm going because of how bad this game was, and I need to watch something that brings me joy. I need to watch something that makes me laugh. So yeah, if you need me, I will be, honestly, restarting my hardcore binge of both 2 separate channels. That's how bad this was. Then I need some happiness. I need some joy. I need laughs. And I need something positive. Because honestly, I am positive this is not going to get a sequel. With how piss poor, lazy, and poorly executed everything was. Which is even more sad because the idea of having magic used as not some alternative thing, but as a primary weapon of war. I love this idea. I love that concept. The problem is I wish it wasn't so limited and poorly executed and repetitive and boring and tedious and monotonous. And please, God, make it stop. This game, if it wasn't so limited, so poorly executed, honestly, I think I probably would have loved it. If it wasn't so poor at every single facet of the game. You know what's the worst part? It's not hard to get a 5 out of 10 with me. It's not. It really isn't. Must function. That's it. Must be finalized properly. And I don't feel like at any point this game is. This game feels like it was rushed out the door or was half-assed through so much of it. And at the last stretch they said, oh shit, we're out of time, get it out the door! And that's it. That's honestly the impression I get from start of the game to the end of the game. That they were either rushing or running behind. And I don't know if that's a thing, if that's actually true or not. I don't know if... I didn't know anything about the game because I'm going to be frank with you, okay? I didn't know this game was even out. I didn't even know this game was out until like a week ago. I didn't know this thing was even out until last week. Yeah. So you remember this. I'm giving you this score with an acknowledgement of I'm being kinder to it than I should. That I am giving credit for having an interesting concept when I probably shouldn't, since it doesn't matter if you have a neat concept if you fail to execute. But I'm going to give it at least that credit out of mercy, out of pity. Not because it's deserving that extra point, just out of mercy and pity. So keep that in mind. I give this game a 2. A 2 out of 10. A nice, colossal, why did I waste my time? I could have done any number of things that would have been more worthwhile than this. I could have plucked all my hair off of my entire body from head to toe. That would have been more entertaining. I could have rebuilt the Renaissance Fair from scratch, barehanded, by myself. That would have been more worth my time. I could have tried to enact my world domination of the video game industry. But I did this instead. And now I have regrets. Lots of regrets. On the other hand, though, it is an EA product. So, I mean, I guess I really shouldn't be that surprised that's this piss poor and not well thought out or executed or properly finished. And it also explains why this game often feels like it was supposed to have been a live service game, but then switched at the last millisecond to not be a live service game when it was supposed to be. But that's not really much of an excuse or a defense either. It's still a non-fun game, and it's still a complete unworth time or money disaster. And I got it for PS Plus, and I honestly wish I didn't waste the 160 gigabytes to fit this POS. Don't buy this for full price. Please, for love of God, have some self-respect. Have some standards. Give a shit. Have some honor. Have some pride. Have some self-worth. Because if I'm telling you, you need to have that, something's wrong. I am heavily insecure and have no real semblance of true pride. Insanity? You bet. Pride? No. And yet I am telling you, need to grow it. That's not a good thing. Don't buy this for full price because it's not worth that. If you can get this thing for maybe about 10 or 15 bucks, that is an okay price. It's not great still. Alright? It's not great still. But that's far more fair and far more acceptable than anything above that. Okay? Like, honestly. Ugh. If you have PS Plus, that's the only way I recommend touching this. Okay? The only way I recommend touching this is if you can get it for free or if you rent it. Do not buy. Not worth it. Not worth your time. You could have been doing anything else. Training for a marathon. Reinventing the wheel. Plucking hairs out of your body. Going and getting a suntan. Trying to go hook up with somebody. Get a one-night stand. Pay for a hooker. Anything other than this. Like, honestly, it's pretty shockingly unfun and shockingly boring to the point where I'm not even sure how even EA, of all people, could manage something this mind-numbing. Good job. If this was your goal, to make something so boring and unfun that it was mind-numbing. You managed to make a game that was so boring and mind-numbing that it actually manages to take the number 10 spot for worst game I've ever played. Good job. That was your goal. Good job. If that was not your goal, I have one question. Just one. What the hell were you thinking then? Did you not have any testers? Were they sick? Did they just leave? Did they quit? What the hell led to this being so mind-numbingly boring that there's not even a singular second of me laughing, having any fun, any enjoyment? How do you make grappling hooks, lashing onto things? How do you make melee awful? Why in the Quaker fuck is my melee pulling me 3 to 4 feet, even from standing still? Why in the Quaker fuck is my lash only selectively on specific moments useful, but in the moment of a cutscene, it can be used to grapple onto anything? Hell, if you wanted to, you could have used this stupid lash to probably have grappled onto the Colossi's nuts. And in the actual game, only very, very specific points that have a marker on them and enemies can be grappled at all. And even then, they better not have a shield or armor or regen factor, because then it's useless. Okay, well, there's these limpets, right? Those are supposed to, make it so you can slow enemies down. That's got to be something, right? No, it's stupid. It's dumb. It's inconsistent. It's not that very useful. Honestly, it only works on certain enemies, and only certain enemies. The moment it is a Magni, doesn't work no more. The moment it is a ranged opponent, doesn't work no more. Why? Simple. Because their little thing is leaving their bodies, which then makes it so the effect is just useless. So even their arrows don't get slowed down, or their magical spells don't get slowed down. Just their movement, nothing else. And even then, it doesn't last long. Against Magni, it lasts maybe like 2-3 seconds tops. Even though you have a boost to duration, times 2 different gear, boosting your duration for this shit. Doesn't matter. None of that matters. Still doesn't last long. Lasts like 2 seconds. Done. There is honestly nothing about this game that would make me want a sequel because of how bad it was, or because of how piss poorly executed it was, or how because of rushed it was, or how it wasn't finalized properly, or how this thing 24/7 throughout the whole gameplay experience screams it's supposed to be a live service heavy freaking thing where you're supposed to get strung along with honestly dog crap until X amount of time into the future. Or I can go tell EA and Ascendant to go fuck themselves, not play this awful shit turd, and go play better games. I'm nearing 1,000 hours into Baldur's Gate 3. I can always keep ticking that up. Or I could have played Elden Ring for the 100 billionth time, it feels like, by now. And that is counting experimental characters, to be fair. Or I could have just gone and replayed Skyrim. I still have that save file that makes it so I can skip the entire friggin' finally awake scene. Or I could go replay Oblivion for the 100 billionth time as well. Don't ask me how many hours I've put into Oblivion.